Anyone who has children knows just how difficult it is to get them to do what you ask. Whether it's brushing their teeth, doing their homework, or eating their dinner, it's an endless battle of two clashing forces that never seems to end. So parents, how do you cope? Most parents get so flustered that they go with a yelling and nagging approach. But is it effective? With us in studio this morning to discuss effective parenting is our creative parenting expert and best-selling author, Nikki Bush. Nikki, good morning and welcome once again.
Hi, Leanne.
I must tell you, I am loving these sessions with you because I'm taking in so much, as I know most parents are as well. So let's talk about the nagging and yelling approach. Is it effective?
I read a quote once and it just so resonated for me at that particular time because I had started nagging and yelling at my children. And it was, yelling at my children is motivational speaking for the selective hearing.
Oh, my word.
And so often I think as parents we think our children do have selective attention or are hard of hearing because you say over and over again, go and do this and please do that and all the rest, and then it doesn't get done, and then you get yourself in a state, as you said.
Yes.
And it's not a trap I fall into regularly because I learned something very early on in my parenting experience. And that is that when you nag and yell at children, they tune you out.
Yes.
But occasionally when I'm very stressed and very busy, and I think this is often the root cause of us getting into this vicious cycle of yelling and nagging, is our own stress means we become a little less conscious when we parent, and we become more reactive, more demanding, more controlling, and we're trying to direct everything because we are stressed. So we go into over-control. The minute we're in over-control, our kids just kick back. And so as much as we are needing them to conform and do what we want them to do, they're actually doing the opposite. And the trick really is the two things that I learned long before I had children. The one is we got puppies before we got children. And when you take your puppies for dog training, the first lesson is drop your voice. Don't yell, shout and scream, and don't be shrill. Drop your voice when you are being serious. And the funny thing is the children get that as well. So when we're feeling out of control, our voices tend to rise. If you can just check yourself and drop your voice and be calm in the way, even if you're not feeling calm inside, be calm and measured with a lower tone when you're talking to your children, you will get a better response. And the other thing was that when I was 18, I spent a year in Australia and I had a host mum who was a preschool teacher, a quietly spoken lady who taught grade R. I went to school with her a couple of times and I never ever heard her raise her voice. She had a sense of calm and a sense of control that the children just understood. They never ever played up. I mean, it was awesome to watch. I was really quite gobsmacked. So those two things taught me a lot, and they really do work. So drop that voice, stay as calm as you can, give children a sense that you're in control. And when your children are not playing ball, I think that's the time to take a step back. Understand your own wobbly. And we all wobble, we all stress over things like finance, over health, over work. There are all sorts of things that stress parents. And very often we are passing that stress onto our children, which then impacts on our ability to keep a sense of control, discipline, and to get our children to do what we want them to do when we want them to do it. So a lot of it rests with us, not necessarily with our children.
That is quite a poignant, thing that you just said now, because I think with one parent who screams and who's really loud and who nags a lot, doesn't really get a lot out of the child. And then you have the other one that, I'm not going to say whether it's mom or dad, but you have the other one who's a lot softer and is a lot more authoritative, and they actually get more out of the child.
And I think it boils down at the end of the day to respect. And when we lose control, our children lose respect for us.
Wow. Thank you so much, Nikki, for answering these very important questions as to what is better, conversation or confrontation. Very, very awesome. Well, raising a child can be one of the most difficult things to do, and often the easiest approach is to shout and nag at your child to get them to behave. In that situation, take a breath and consider the lasting implications of what you're doing. Find a balance that allows you and your child the freedom and respect you deserve.